If you're expecting a bunch of guru fluff and get-rich-quick garbage, you've come to the wrong place. This show is the no bullshit real deal.
No bullshit real deal.
I'm Larry Harbolt, and they call me the real deal. Welcome to my show. This show is aimed at providing you with quality information so you can make more profit in the fastest way possible without making costly mistakes from the deals you do.
Let's get started.
Hello, everyone. For 3.5 years, I've taught unbelievable techniques and strategies in great depth that, if applied, could greatly improve the deals you do as well as make more money for you at the same time. Now, I know on my last podcast, I whined and I moaned about not ever hearing from those of you who regularly listen to me, about not asking questions or asking for specific topics. I guess I'm wondering just exactly how much value I'm giving you. I know my techniques are not the standard methods that most lazy investors use. Those that pay cash, they borrow money from banks or hard money lenders, and then they sell as quickly as they can to get a check, and then at the end of the year, they give back a huge portion of that big check to the IRS. Now, I don't know if investors who have very limited knowledge of investing think what I teach is too much work. Maybe they think it's corny, or just something they don't want to take the time or money to learn. I'm not sure about that. But one thing I am sure of, not every investor is making a considerable amount of money today. I do know that when the market is good and money is easy to get, most investors are complacent, just doing what they've always been doing, whether they're making real money or not. It seems really funny to me that when I talk to the investors in my inner circle of advanced investor friends, they rarely borrow money from banks or hard money lenders, and they get seller financing terms as often as they can. Now, sometimes some of them do offer cash, but most get the cash they need from a friend's Roth IRA. Most of my friends buy property on a continual basis, yet they buy very few through the multiple listing service. They find properties like I do through other sources. Now, I've probably said this 100 times on previous podcasts, not to do what everyone else does, or you're going to get what most other people get, which in many cases isn't very much. Maybe some of you see very little value in what I teach because you're already getting so rich doing what everyone else is doing. I don't think so. Maybe you don't want to spend the money to come to my 4-day Never Step Into a Bank Again training. Maybe you think you can learn what to do by going to your monthly real estate investment meeting, by listening to some speaker give you bits and pieces of what they do. You see, but they don't give you enough information for you to be able to do the same thing without spending money with them. I will tell you there are 3 ways to learn to be an investor. You can just go out, do deals from the bits and pieces of information you heard at your last real estate investment group meeting. I don't think this is the best way. Or you can learn from the school of hard knocks like I did in the beginning years. This is going to take too long, and I'm telling you, it's an ugly journey you don't want to take. Or you can learn from successful investors who teach non-traditional techniques and strategies. I believe this is your smartest path to success. Now, having been in the real estate business for over 40 years, I'll take number 3 every time. See, I tried the first 2, and all I did was struggle financially until I got with the teachers who did deals in other ways than everyone else was doing. Well, was it easy to learn? Some things were, while others took a little bit more thinking to understand. But one thing's for sure, learning from successful teachers definitely got me to more and bigger checks after I had a chance to learn from them in their classes. Now, do you think it was expensive for me to learn from my mentors? Now, I've got to admit that at times it was a stretch for me to come up with the money to do their classes. And one thing that I did learn was, at those trainings, I learned several ideas that were thoroughly explained in detail that allowed me to quickly start making far more money than I'd ever made before. At every one of those trainings, I learned at least one thing that I could immediately use every day for the rest of my life is why I've had the success that I've had. See, my success has also given me the inspiration to teach others what I've learned, so others can also prosper. So let me give you a little quiz to see if I really have taught you anything. Here's my first example. Let's say you find a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in a good area. Are you interested in that property? If you are, the house is a perfect rental property that will easily rent for $1,800 a month. Are you still interested in that property? Okay, the seller is asking $1 million for the property. Are you still interested? Now, if you've learned anything from me, you would know that this could be a good rental property if you can get good seller financing terms that would allow you to make a decent monthly cash flow, especially if you don't care if you ever pay the property off. If you're just happy with the cash flow. See, if the seller would only accept cash for the property, it would be a horrible deal if you wanted to quickly sell it, especially when other similar properties in the area are selling for $300,000. You see, this theory only works if you plan to keep the property long-term as a rental. So remember, you want to get either a low price or terms that will allow you to make a monthly cash flow. I'd give them their price if they will give me my terms that will allow me to rent the property and make a positive cash flow each month and still be able to cover all of the costs of ownership. The negotiated monthly payment is the key to make this deal work. It can be whatever you and the seller agree to. The payment doesn't have to come from an amortization sheet. See, banks tell you what the payment's going to be, but you and the seller, you're going to determine what the payment's going to be. So let's talk about a different deal. Let's say you find an unloved property that the owner is currently renting at a below market rent. This property is free and clear, but the seller wants all cash, as most sellers do. But you convince them that if they get all cash, they're going to be losing a huge portion of the money they get to income tax. So what if you would offer the seller the same exact amount they put into their bank account every month after all expenses? Now this could give you a set payment that once you fix the property, you're going to be able to increase the monthly rent to build your monthly cash flow. You just need to determine what all of the monthly costs are, then deduct that number from the monthly rent. This would still work even if you offered the seller $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 more than what the seller is asking to get them to do your deal. See, the seller gets the same amount each month to put into their bank account without ever having to deal with tenants and toilets ever again. That is a smart way to do it, and you build your cash flow by fixing the property and increasing the rents. Here's another deal. What if you find a nice property you want to buy, but the seller will only give you seller financing terms if you put 50% of their asking price down in cash? Now, I can show you how to do this without ever having to borrow any money. See, I teach this technique in depth at every 4-day Never Step Into a Bank Again training, along with dozen more techniques I and my successful students use every day to make a lot of money without using little or none of our own money or credit to complete our deals. My friends, now's the perfect time to learn how to do deals others in your area can't do. Like I said earlier, some of you don't want to take the effort or money to learn things that give you multiple ways to do deals. Is it because you think market conditions are never going to change? Maybe you already think you know everything you need to know, or are you just plain lazy? Now, only you can answer that question. If you never take my 4-day training, chances are you're never going to learn even one of the dozens of techniques I teach. But it's up to you to decide. I'm offering you a unique chance to learn what others don't teach. Just think about it. If you have an interest in learning what I have to teach, you can go to my website, LarryHarbolt.com, to sign up for one of my upcoming trainings. Or if you need some financial help, you can email me at LarryHarbolt@gmail.com to discuss what I'm willing to do for you. I'm currently helping others with my payment plan, so let me help you if the money is a problem. And don't forget, either way you sign up, you get my courses and a 4-day training that you get to repeat 2 more times for free. Also, if you'll email me at LarryHarbolt@gmail.com and request a copy of my 31-page lesson called Unwrapping the Mystery of Subject 2, it's free for just asking. I'll email it to you. Well, let me know what I'm offering every week has value to you and what subject you'd like to hear more about. Well, that's going to about wrap up this episode of my podcast for this week. I hope you found some value from today's topic, and I invite you to head over to LarryHarbolt.com, register to keep up to date with my tips and ideas to help you become a better real estate investor. Now, if you're not already registered, head over to LarryHarbolt.com/register to get access to my free phone script on how to negotiate with sellers over the phone. Be sure to tell a friend and leave me a review on the podcast player that you're using to listen to me right now. Your reviews help me to know that the information that I'm giving you every week is valuable to you. Be sure to check out my courses, articles, and available trainings on my website and watch for my Facebook Live posts I do every few days. And be sure to check out my coaching program I do that is affordable, that we do every month, and it's called Making Bigger Profits. If you'll go to makingbiggerprofits.com, you can sign up for this affordable training that will help so many people get way ahead of the curve. So, having said that, I hope you all have a great week. So until next time, this is Larry Harbolt.
Thanks for listening to the Real Deal Podcast with Larry Harbolt. To learn more about investing in real estate, head on over to LarryHarbolt.com and register for his educational tips and articles delivered by email.